At a family party, I casually said I was excited for the reunion the next day. My brother laughed and said, "That already happened." My aunt pulled out her phone. There were pictures of everyone but me. My brother just grinned and said, "Oops, forgot to mention it." I walked out without a word. But they're the ones who ended up regretting it. Be sure to hit that subscribe button, and let's get into the story. My name is Megan, and I've always felt like the outsider in my own family, not because of anything I did wrong, but because somehow doing well for myself turned me into their target. I grew up in a modest household where money was always tight. Still, I worked my butt off, earned a full scholarship to a top university, and built a successful career in tech. Now at 34, I'm financially stable, own my own place, travel when I want, and up until recently, I sent my family money every month to help out. I never asked for thanks, but I never imagined they'd betray me either. Looking back, I should have picked up on the signs. My mom has always doted on my younger brother, Nathan, the golden child. He's never held a job for more than a few months and constantly makes excuses, yet she treats him like he walks on water. Meanwhile, I'm the uptight one, the one who's too obsessed with work or who thinks she's better than everyone. And my sister Zoe? She's the queen of subtle digs, always reminding me that money can't buy happiness, though she had no problem cashing the checks I sent when she couldn't pay rent. My dad, he just sits back and agrees with whatever mom says, never defending me, never questioning the favoritism. Still, I tried. Every holiday I showed up with gifts. Every time we went out, I paid the bill. Whenever someone needed help, I was there. I told myself that if I kept showing up, kept giving, maybe one day they'd appreciate it. Instead, they decided to show me where I really stood. It all came to a head during a holiday dinner at my parents' place. We were all at the table, plates loaded with my mom's always dry roast, when I said, "I'm really looking forward to the family reunion tomorrow." For a split second, the whole room went silent. Then Nathan laughed. "The reunion was yesterday," he said. I froze. "What?" Zoe just smirked over her wine glass. "Yeah, didn't Mom tell you?" I looked at my mother, my stomach sinking. "You told me it was on the 15th. She shrugged. "Oops, must have mixed up the dates." Mixed up? I wasn't some distant relative. They had a full-on reunion without even telling me. My aunt, scrolling on her phone, turned the screen to show me photos. All of them smiling, laughing. Everyone there. Everyone but me. Nathan grinned. "Awkward. Guess we forgot." Zoe giggled. "Oops. My bad, LOL." I didn't say a word. I set my fork down, stood up, and walked out of the room. No yelling, no drama. I didn't give them the satisfaction. I grabbed my coat and stepped into the cold night air, letting the wind sting my skin while I processed it all. This wasn't forgetfulness. This was deliberate. Every single one of them had looked me in the eye that evening, knowing full well they had excluded me. I checked my phone. No calls. No texts. Not even a "wish you were here." I wasn't even an afterthought. I wanted to drive home right then, but part of me needed to see just how far they'd go. After a few minutes, I took a deep breath and went back inside. Laughter still echoed from the dining room as if nothing had happened. I hung up my coat and walked back to the table, hands freezing but my face unreadable. I sat down. Zoe raised an eyebrow. "Thought you left." I looked her dead in the eye. "Why would I? It was just a harmless mix-up, right?" She smiled like she knew exactly what this was. Nathan snorted. "You're taking this way too seriously. We didn't do it on purpose." I leaned back. "You had to coordinate food, decorations, invitations, and somehow no one remembered to text me? Sounds deliberate." My mom sighed like I was the unreasonable one. "Let's not ruin the evening, Megan. It's the holidays." I could feel their expectation. They thought I'd let it go like always. I looked around the table. This was the moment I was supposed to play along again. But this time I didn't. "I've been thinking," I said, twirling my fork, "about the money I send you all every month." That got their attention. Zoe straightened in her seat. My mom froze mid-slice. My dad actually looked up. "What about it?" Nathan asked, his tone immediately guarded. "I help with Zoe's rent. I cover Mom and Dad's meds. I even give Nathan cash when he's short." I let it settle in. But somehow, I wasn't important enough to invite to a reunion. Zoe gave a nervous laugh. "You're not really mad about this, are you?" Nathan scoffed. "It's not a big deal. You've got your career, your house, your whole perfect life. Why do you care?" There it was, resentment masked as nonchalance. I smiled. "You're right. I do have a good life." "Don't be petty," Zoe snapped. I tilted my head. "Petty, like planning a reunion and forgetting to invite your own sister?" Nathan rolled his eyes. "You're being dramatic. You'll get over it. He popped another bite of food in his mouth and muttered, "Besides, I already used that money you send me on new sneakers. You're not actually cutting us off, are you?" Silence. My mom's floor covered midair. Zoe's knuckles went white. My dad just stared at his plate. Nathan grinned, until I said, "Wouldn't I?" He blinked, waiting for the joke. I didn't smile. And then it hit them, I was serious. Nathan scoffed again. "You wouldn't stop helping us over something this stupid. Then explain how you meant it," I said, my voice cool. He huffed. "We forgot. You're being ridiculous." Mom jumped in. "Megan, sweetie, we love you. Let's not let a small misunderstanding ruin everything." She reached for my hand. I pulled it back. "What if I didn't send you money every month? Would you even care about smoothing this over?" Dad cleared his throat. "That's not fair." I raised an eyebrow. "Isn't it? Because from where I'm sitting, it looks like you all care more about my bank account than me." Zoe scowled. "That's not true. We care about you." I laughed once, quietly. "No. You care about what I can give you." Daniel rolled his eyes. "Oh, here we go again. You always act like the victim." He leaned back in his chair. "Maybe we didn't tell you, because we didn't want to deal with this exact kind of drama." I tilted my head. "Well then, I guess you won't have to anymore." You could practically feel the tension in the room shift. My mom's face was suddenly uneasy. My dad stared hard at his plate, pretending to ignore everything, but I saw how tightly he gripped his fork. Zoe's lips pressed into a tight line. And Daniel, he just chuckled like it was all one big joke. "Oh, please," he scoffed. "You're not going to cut us off. You're too soft for that." I smiled at him. "Well, I guess you'll find out." His smirk faded. I stood up, smoothed out my blouse, and grabbed my purse from the back of the chair. Everyone's eyes followed me like I just pulled the pin out of a grenade. "Megan," my mother said, panic creeping into her voice. "Let's not do anything drastic. We're family. Family doesn't just walk away from each other." I looked her dead in the eye. "You all walked away from me a long time ago." I turned toward the front hall. "Wait," Zoe said, practically jumping to her feet. "You're not actually serious, are you? You're not really cutting us off." I opened the door. A blast of cold night air rushed in, slicing through the warm, heavy atmosphere inside. I looked over my shoulder and said, calm as ever, "Enjoy the sneakers, Daniel." Then I stepped outside and closed the door behind me. I didn't even reach my car before my phone lit up, first from my mom. I let it ring. Then Zoe. Ignored. Then, of course, Daniel. I rolled my eyes and shook my head as I got into the car. That didn't take long. Before I even pulled out of the driveway, a text came through. "Okay, haha, you made your point. Can you send the money now?" I put my phone on silent and drove home. The ride was peaceful. For the first time in years, I felt like I could breathe. I didn't have to keep playing the role of the good daughter, the fixer, the ATM. I was finished. But them? They were just getting started. By the time I got home, my phone had been bombarded with messages. Zoe had sent, "Megan, don't be like this. We're family. You're just being emotional." Mom chimed in with, "You were raised better than this. We didn't expect this from you." Dad, short and blunt as always, "Call your mother." And Daniel, he blew up my phone with a string of messages. First, the usual sarcasm. "You're really cutting us off over this? Seriously?" Then, "What? Gonna spend all your extra cash on candles and throw pillows now? Get real." Finally, "Fine. Be dramatic. Whatever." Then the tone shifted. "Okay, listen. I really need that money, like, ASAP." And there it was. "I ordered some stuff assuming you were going to send it like usual." Of course he did. It's not just the sneakers. I got a new TV, and a PS5 and a laptop. I raised my eyebrows. "But I had it planned. I thought your transfer was coming in today." He kept going. "Come on, Meg. Be serious. You're really not going to answer." Then, "This isn't funny. My card's going to charge everything tomorrow. Megan, I can't pay for it. Do you want me to go into debt?" I almost choked on my tea. This was gold. Daniel had finally gotten himself into a corner. After all those years of smug entitlement, spending whatever he wanted, confident that I'd always cover him, he had finally reached the limit. A call came in. "Daniel." I ignored it. Another. Then a short, sharp text. "Pick up." I looked at my phone and smiled. For the first time ever, I had the upper hand. They couldn't gaslight me. They couldn't guilt me. I wasn't their fallback plan anymore. I leaned back and stretched out on the couch. Let them panic. Daniel had racked up debt on top of debt, big-ticket items, no less, assuming I'd clean it all up like usual. Now reality was setting in. Another call. I ignored it. Then Mom texted, "Megan, call your brother." I scoffed. Now she was concerned. Then, "This is serious. Daniel's in trouble. He needs you." I took my time finishing my tea before even considering replying. Then Zoe, "Okay, you're mad, we get it. But can you please just send the money? He's freaking out." Now it was getting good. Daniel texted again. "Megan, if you don't send the money tonight, I'm screwed. Do you understand that?" Oh, I understood just fine. 10 minutes later, another message. "Please." There it was. Desperation. I waited another 15 minutes before finally calling him. He picked up immediately. "Finally. What the hell, Megan? You've been ignoring me all night." I leaned back, calm. "I saw your messages. I was just busy." "Busy? Doing what?" "Relaxing." He groaned. "You don't get it." "No," I said firmly. "You don't get it. You spent money you didn't have, assuming I'd cover it." Again. Silence. Then, "Come on. You're really doing all this over a missed invite?" "It wasn't personal, we just forgot." I shook my head. "This isn't about the reunion. This is about years of being taken for granted. I'm done being used." "You're being so over the top," he snapped. "It's not like we stole from you. You have money. What's the big deal?" I laughed coldly. "That's exactly the problem. You think because I have money I owe you. I don't." He sounded like he was choking. "I already bought everything. I can't return it. Not my problem. If you don't send it, my account's going to overdraft." I paused, let that settle in, then said simply, "Sounds like a personal issue. You're actually going to let this happen?" "Yes." He let out a harsh laugh. "Just this once, Meg. Please. I swear, never again." I sighed. "You've said that before. Every time. And every time you expect me to clean up your mess. This time is different." "No. It's exactly the same. You gambled with my generosity and lost." His voice cracked. "Please." And for a second, I almost felt bad. Almost. But then I remembered all the times they laughed behind my back. All the times they acted like I didn't matter unless they needed something. I didn't back down. "You'll figure it out," I said flatly. "Best of luck." Then I hung up. Not 5 seconds later, my phone lit up again. I ignored it. Then a message from Zoe. "What did you say to him? He's freaking out." I didn't reply. Then came one from my mother. "Ava, you're being heartless. Help your brother. You have to help him." Still no answer. Then another from Daniel. "You're going to regret this." I smiled, switched off my phone, and went asleep. Let them panic. For once, I was the one sleeping soundly while they tossed and turned. By the next morning, I woke up to a wall of missed calls and unread messages. Mom, Dad, Zoe, Daniel, back to back, all desperate for me to cave. But I wasn't going to. I got out of bed at my own pace, brewed coffee, made breakfast, and opened my phone just to skim through the damage. Same messages, same nonsense, guilt-tripping, begging, veiled demands. Then I saw something different. A text from Daniel. "If you don't wire me the money, I'm coming over there myself." Oh, so now it was threats. Then Mom, "Daniel's heading to your place. Please just talk to him." I set my cup down and exhaled slowly. So that's how they wanted to play it. Fine. About an hour later, just as I finished up some work emails, the doorbell rang. I already knew who it was. I opened the door and there stood Daniel. He looked like hell. Unshaven, eyes bloodshot, hair a mess, shirt wrinkled. He hadn't slept. That much was clear. "Ava," he said, trying to sound composed. "We need to talk." I leaned casually on the doorframe. "Talk about what?" I thought I made myself clear last night. His jaw tensed. "Look, I screwed up." "Okay. But I need you to help me out. Just this once." I tilted my head. "Like you said last time? Or the 5 times before that?" His fists clenched. "You've got the money. It wouldn't even hurt you to help." I gave a humorless laugh. "That's the problem, Daniel. You think my money is your backup plan. But it's not. And it never was." He groaned and dragged a hand through his hair. "I don't have time for a lecture. Those charges are hitting my account today." I looked him in the eye. "Then maybe you should have been more responsible." His face twisted with anger. "This is about that stupid family dinner, isn't it? You're being petty over a party." I let out another laugh. "Oh no, Daniel. This isn't about one party. It's about everything." Now he was breathing hard, like just standing there was exhausting him. "So you're really not going to help?" "Nope." He flared his nostrils, fists tightening at his sides. And then he snapped. "You're just a selfish, stuck-up brat. Think you're better than us because you've got money? You're not. You'll always be the loser little sister who had to buy respect. And when you go broke, and you will, don't come crawling back to us. Because we won't care. I didn't even blink. I just smiled. Noted. Now get off my porch. He didn't move right away. Just stood there, staring, like he couldn't believe I wasn't flinching. Eventually, he let out a bitter laugh, turned around, and stomped back to his car, cursing under his breath the whole way. My phone buzzed a few seconds later. It was Mom. What did you say to him? Daniel's furious. I rolled my eyes and closed the door. Then I sent one last message to the group chat. I'm done. Don't ever ask me for money again. I hit send, shut off my phone, and went on with my day. And for the first time in years, I felt like I could finally breathe. The next few days were quiet. No more texts, no calls. They must have finally realized that I wasn't coming back to the role they loved casting me in. The ATM, the backup, the emotional punching bag. I didn't hear from Daniel. Zoe stayed silent. Mom and Dad had nothing to say. It felt strange. Peaceful. Almost too peaceful. A week passed. Then another. I hardly thought about them. I focused on work. On myself. On living my life without the weight of their expectations. Then one night, a text popped up on my screen. From Daniel. I screwed up. I don't know what to do. Please, Ava. Help me. I stared at the screen, unfazed. I didn't feel angry. Or sad. Not even annoyed. I'd simply moved on. I deleted the message without responding. The next day I woke up, made breakfast, went for a walk, and didn't think about it again. And in that moment, I realized something. For the first time in my entire life, I was living for me. No guilt. No begging. No more being used. Just peace. And that's exactly how I intend to keep it,